Good day and welcome back to the Family Cyber Clinic. This week, we are refocusing on scams, trending scams. And that's because there's a WhatsApp verification scam that I'm involved in resolving. Yes. And honestly, you need to see this to believe it. And so I'm going to make time to show you a conversation that transpired, and then give you bits that you would be able to identify as red flags if this, God forbid, ever happens to you. Okay? And so it's a WhatsApp verification scam. If you don't know what that is, basically you before you can register your phone number on WhatsApp will send you a registration or a verification number so they know it's you with the phone and all that. And then we've shared videos on making sure that you don't take or answer rogue calls or respond to rogue SMS text with links or emails, smishing, vishing, and phishing. We've told you to be on the alert. And all these, well, at least 2 out of the 3 were used to effect this scam. And so if you really want to train, because I can't cover that all in this video, but if you want to step up and inform yourself on how to avoid these things in the future, apart from the suggestions I'll make at the end of this video, you get yourself, really prepped for these kind of scams. Okay, so I'm going to go to the iPhone and I'm going to show you, actually before I do that, a conversation transpired, a phone call, which is the vishing. A phone call was received by this individual. And the premise was charity, church, and that was the general narrative. I need help because of a church thing that I need urgently. And church folk generally, and I'm a church man, so I understand how vulnerable we can be because you are looking for ways to help, to assist. And so you receive a phone call from a charity, you are a minister of faith. So it's not abnormal to get those sort of calls. So you see already the crook or the rogue is using something that is familiar to you. So you feel at home, you don't feel threatened. So this individual receives a phone call telling him to do A, B, C, D to help facilitate a charitable thing. Okay? And timing, the call was late in the night. So of course, it also means that you're not as alert. Already I've shown you 2 red flags: familiarity and late in the night. Those are 2 red flags when we're at our most vulnerable, okay? So he receives this call, doesn't think so much about it in terms of suspicion, and just waits because the guy says, or the rogue says, and it was a guy. So this we know was a guy because that was the person on the other phone, on the other side of the phone, says, please, when you receive this code, can you kindly enter it into the message that will come up on your phone. Exactly what WhatsApp would do if you're registering your WhatsApp account or your phone number on another device. Now, some of you watching this video will say, how gullible can we be? Like I just told you, I've identified 2 red flags. One, the guy is discussing something you're familiar with, and you're connected to in some way as a man of faith. And then 2, he's calling you quite late in the night. So you're at your most vulnerable at those at that time, and with that narrative. So the person who I'm working with to resolve this issue now responds to the message that comes up on his phone. Yeah, I can hear you say how gullible, but he did. Okay, so we're not going to talk about what he did in that sense, but he did it. And I'm sharing this so that you don't fall prey. I've identified those red flags, so please take notes. You can rewind and do that. So the moment he puts the code, he gets. At no point did he mention that the code was going to come at a certain time. The code, he said, when you receive the code just now, please respond. The gentleman responds to the code and he gets locked out of his WhatsApp account. Gets locked out. He can't get into his WhatsApp. WhatsApp complains that it's no longer registered on the device, his own phone. Now, we've shared a video or videos about these, clicking links, responding and all that. So I'm not going to go too deep. What I do want to show you, however, is the conversation that happened after the man's phone gets locked out. Because what has now happened is the rogue has now hijacked that WhatsApp account. He's now ruling or, calling the shots on that account. Now, that means the rogue now has access to the contacts. Thankfully, the rogue can't see messages that this gentleman had in the past. But anything that comes into the phone or the WhatsApp for the gentleman in question, the victim, this rogue now has access to. Dangerous stuff. So, as I said, I'm going to show you the conversation. Let me just go to the iPhone and show you the conversation. Oh man, this is really, really, really bad. So the gentleman now doesn't see any of this information. So the victim doesn't see any of this information. I am now receiving. This is me. So because I have contacted the victim recently, and I contacted the victim that time that the phone had been hijacked, this rogue now has access to me. Very late in the night, as you can see, hello, good morning. How are you today? How are you doing today? This was at 0009, a little bit after midnight. Again, a red flag. But I didn't think anything of it because I was awake. He says, hello, good morning. And I said, good morning, I'm well, but I'm about to retire. I'm reading it so that you can follow. If you can't see it on the screen, you can also hear it, okay? And he says, oh, bless God. Very casual. This is a rogue. Oh, it doesn't mean you well, but he's relaxed. And so you will be relaxed. Okay? So he says, please, I actually need a favor from you urgently. Sorry you can't see me. Just, you can hear me. Bless God. Okay? And I said, please go ahead. And that's what we do. I'm not saying this as a boast, but yeah, we're generous. We're looking for ways to help, assist. We don't just close the door, full stop. So he knows that hijacking a churchman's phone or a man of faith's phone, woman of faith's phone, he has a little chance of a result like we could have done just now. Okay, he says, I actually need a favor from you urgently. And he now goes on to say, I'm trying to transfer some naira to someone and it's not going through. And he gives a reason for it not going through. He says that he's maxed out. It's showing that he's exceeded his transfer limit for the day because he did some transfers this morning. Generally, I normally say that another red flag in these things would be another red flag in these little or big, whatever it is, scams would be spelling mistakes. In this scenario, this guy is kitted up. He's not making mistakes. Okay, certainly grammar-wise. All right, so we go back to the phone, and it's showing that I've exceeded my transfer limit for the day, and that kind of makes sense. Okay, so you relate that if you've gone over an excess, I've not transferred money recently. My wife does most of the transfers, so I'm thinking, okay, there's some some legit stuff here. So I listen. So I don't know if you can help me send to the person's account details. I'll send it back to you by tomorrow morning as early as possible. And he puts our typical way we end conversations with hands closed. That's like, please, or, I beg you, amen, And thankfully for me, because like I said, I'm about to retire. It's past midnight, and I'm not at my most alert at that time. No one really should be, but most people are not. Okay? So I'm not alert. And he's definitely exploiting that. And thankfully, my wife handles transfers. So there was no way I was even going to bother because my wife had retired. So I tell him, like you can see in the message, I said, unfortunately, my wife handles all those things. Okay? And she has retired for the night. I'm crying, regrettably. And he now says, oh, okay. And goes on and says, can you help me send pounds? So I'm like, okay, I just told you my wife handles those affairs. And you're saying, can you send pounds? You've moved from naira to pounds. And I said, same thing. You can tell now that I really don't want to type. I'm tired. But I still believe, and this is crucial, I still believe I'm having a conversation with this gentleman. Understand that. Already this rogue has made me feel comfortable. I'm conversing with the person I believe I'm conversing with. Because he has taken care of the familiarity thing and the language. There's no red flag I'm seeing so far. Okay? In fact, I didn't see any red flag. You soon see that. Okay? So we go back to the phone. He now says, he's still awake. Oh, me, I've gone to bed. As you can see, there's no more green. The green bits there will be me responding. But he's still going on 9 minutes after. So what are we going to do? He's awake. I'm sleeping. Let's wait till morning if possible, 8 minutes after that time. Then he puts the amount, 300,000. Puts the account number. My wife kind of told me not to expose this number, but this guy is a rogue. So I don't want, and it might be an account, and this is what I do. I make sure that you don't fall prey to the kind of things that anybody I know falls prey to. So this account information is possible. It's important that you get to see this account number, and so that this guy at the least he would change it. Okay, so he puts his details, and then blesses me. He's still awake now. We're in the 1 a.m. arena. It says, may God Almighty bless you beyond your imagination. Things we can identify with. He said, immediately I send it, let me know. This was with me. This rogue is conversing with me and he's angling to get money from me whilst pretending to be my friend. Whilst pretending to be my friend, because at no point did I suspect I was speaking to a rogue. There were no red flags for me. Now I got a text on another platform, text message on my iMessage app. And in there, the person who I thought I was speaking to the night before calls me and tells me, or rather texts me and says, his phone has been hacked. I was so excited that my wife was sleeping. I had retired for the night because I don't know whether I would have fallen for it. But like I said, this can happen to anybody. And I have my antenna sharp. But I could have fallen for this if truly my wife was not in bed. So he tells me that his phone has been hacked and that there's someone reaching out to his contacts asking for money. Please do not give him any money. It's not me. So someone has hijacked his phone, taking control, and is contacting his contacts. Utterly horrible. And I'm sharing the video so that you understand that these things are happening is not a joke. The nature that we have as believers or as good people is to be helpful. And you have a rogue exploiting that nature. So it's important that we remain alert. And I've not bothered. I don't know whether there's any more that has happened in the conversation. I'm going back to the iPhone. Immediately you send it, let me know. I'll call you right back. And there's still more. At 7:47 in the morning now, he now says, I'll call you right back. Oh, no, I rang him. So I rang him on, because this is morning now, so I'm ringing him to actually have a discussion because I've had some time to absorb everything. And he doesn't pick up. He comes and says, I'll call you right back. Then he says, hello, any progress yet? Understand, he said, I'll call you right back. And just says, hello, any progress yet? Question mark, question mark. Now I feel rushed. I feel bullied. And thankfully, that's when that phone call came in, or rather the SMS text that I mentioned. And then he goes on and says, or rather I said, good morning again. I'm not sure I understand the question, sir. Can you confirm if you still want me to transfer the money? At this point, I've had the conversation with the victim. So I'm now pulling him in. I want to understand exactly how this rogue performs. And he says, yes, of course. Now a bit bullish or aggressive. And then repeats, immediately you send it, let me know. I really appreciate. And that's where the conversation ended. By ended, I mean that's where I wasn't ready to go any further, even though I knew there was nowhere now there was going to be a transaction because the victim had called me. But I was trying to see if I could get anything from him that will help me or help Action Fraud or anybody that I will involve identify this person who is making our lives miserable. Person means harm. And so I've got to expose it so that you don't get to fall victim to. Now I hear you ask, what are the things I can do to avoid this? And really, I'm glad you asked. But before I answer that question, you may want to know how far or how did the story end? I know you guys love stories. How did the issue end? No money, nobody has given to date. Nobody has given that rogue any money. But the inconvenience this has now caused, because usually you should be able to recover your account again by, logging in again with your number, and either doing a lost password or a re-verification, and that locks your account and also locks the other guy out, the rogue. But somehow that wasn't going well. There was some technical issue with WhatsApp, and WhatsApp wasn't allowing the owner of the number to do so much. And that could be that the rogue has gone so far, and I don't know how far that is. And now the only thing the victim can do is change his number. So he's reported his account hacked. So the vendor, his phone vendor or carrier, has disabled the phone and is going to send him another SIM card. They're going to send him another SIM card with a new number. And he's going to use his new number to re-register in WhatsApp and all that. Whilst the other person still gets to use the other account, but no one is going to be sending anything to that account. So there will be no conversation. So you can own the WhatsApp account, but nothing is coming in, so you don't have victims. It's only the people who had sent messages while the phone had been hacked or hijacked who this guy can converse with. He's not sent me a text or anything since then, and that's because either WhatsApp have done something or he's locked out of the account because of what we did. So it's not really ended 100% well because of the inconvenience of changing your number and having to inform your contacts. I'm sorry that this is a long video, but I think it's worth it. I'm going into that much detail so that you understand how to avoid it first and foremost, and then how you recover from it. Okay, all those are important. But ultimately, the inconvenience of having to change your SIM card, have a new number, and inform your contacts is how this is ending. But thankfully, no one was bitten. No one was scammed of their money whilst thinking they were helping a friend out. And that for me is the good news in the story. So I come back to the question, what do we do to avoid this? Already I've mentioned that if you are, I talked about vishing, smishing, and phishing. These rogues will contact you via email, which will be phishing, SMS, which will be smishing, and then voice, which will be vishing. So they have ways of attacking or at least engaging you by sending you spurious links to click on or leaving spurious voice messages and links, dodgy links in SMS or SMS messages or emails. All those are how they work and operate. And so we've got to be informed to identify red flags that I've mentioned, spelling mistakes in SMS messages, aggression, urgency, timing. Talked about time of the day. And then the narrative. Usually they will say things that you identify with. And so they've hooked you. Okay, so keep an eye out for those. But specifically for this WhatsApp scam, WhatsApp themselves have suggested 3 things that we can do. And we've shared this on our portal before, but I'll go over them again, and I'll just go to a page I downloaded from WhatsApp. So we'll go back to the iPhone. Okay, and I'm just going to show you what you can do. All right, so on the iPhone, it says want to protect your WhatsApp account from scams. It's easy, just follow these steps. Okay, so the first one there, I don't know whether you can see it, is never share the 6-digit, exactly what this gentleman did. Never share the 6-digit registration code or verification code you receive via SMS. It tells you that very, very clearly. Okay? And then second, it tells you that you should enable, if you can see that, enable 2-step verification. 2-step verification. We've talked about multi-factor authentication or 2-factor authentication, where you use an SMS, or you receive an SMS to confirm on your phone, to confirm that you are the person trying to log into an account, which means you are exploiting something that the rogue will not have at the same time. Rarely would they have your phone at the same time with them. So you have the phone and someone is trying to log into your account. If you have 2-step authentication or 2-step verification enabled, an SMS will be sent to your phone, which you have. And if you don't enter that code, you're not logging into your email. So you can see that you frustrate the rogue activity by enabling two-step authentication. And it tells you that you can see how you do it. You tap settings in WhatsApp, go to account, two-step verification, create a PIN, and that's it. So very easy to do, but it's something that we must do speedily. Don't wait. Okay? And then it gives a third suggestion, which is something again that we've covered, where it says that you should only allow your contacts to see your profile photo. And to do that, you have the how to there. And it clearly says number 2, be wary. Can you see? Be wary of people asking you for money. Always call your contacts to confirm their identity before you make any money transfer. Okay, so these are things that we've already mentioned in numerous videos. Trying to keep you and your family safe, we say don't do these things, okay? And WhatsApp are echoing some of those things we've shared in the past. And we will at this time tell you to go, just browse through the portal, playlist that will make things easy for you as you look around. But please do not ignore this. You may be savvy, but your friends may not be. And it just takes your friend to lower their guard. And in my case, my friend lowered his guard and I got the attempted fraud attempt. Or attempted fraud. Fraud attempt. But you get the idea. So others lowering their guard can still affect you. Anyone connected to you on the internet can become a liability. And so you always have to be on the alert, which is why the networking, sharing this information to others, subscribing to this platform so that I keep informing you so that you inform others. It's a no-brainer. It really is a no-brainer, okay? I hope this information benefited you. If it did, I would urge you to subscribe to the channel and share, which helps me also connect with you because you share some of your experiences. And I will do my research and make sure that I, take time, share a video about your issue so that others don't get affected by it. That's what the network does. That's what the community does, amongst other things, of course. Okay? I've been your host. It's been nice having you with me. I know it's been a long video, but it's been worth it, I hope. Okay? God bless and goodbye.